Today we will be making this beautiful epoxy tumbler using alcohol ink and glitter. I call it Dark Galaxy. Due to the dark, mysterious color patterns, I was able to get by mixing a few different colors on black background with addition to small sprinkle of glitter. Let's take a short break from all of our duties and experiment with colors. I will be very happy if you join me. We are starting here with a large tumbler, which we have prepped already with the black base color. I have also mixed my epoxy already, which is ready to be applied on the surface of the tumbler. I start slow with a thin layer at first, make sure I cover everything, and then would add more epoxy. I usually try to aim for around 15 milliliters of epoxy when working with alcohol ink. Now, before I apply any alcohol ink, I have decided to sprinkle a bit of micro glitter on the surface of the tumbler. I was inspired by another tumbler I saw a while back, so I thought I will give it a try. As you can see, the glitter is white/gray color, but once it hits the epoxy surface, it gives us this beautiful bluish reflection. I don't want to create a full glitter layer, just a bit of interesting detail. Since I like the effect I am seeing right now, I cannot resist and apply another glitter color on the tumbler. This time I go for orange color. No specific reason for it, just want to have something vibrant, something warm, especially when the base color is black. The black surface with the black reflective glitters gives the tumbler a cold feeling, so I want to even the powers out. And to my surprise, the orange glitter did its job just perfectly. Honestly, I was so pleased with the result that I would be okay to stop working on the tumbler right there and let it dry. To me, this would be an excellent minimalistic design for a tumbler you want to give as a present to any guy. But the original plan was to make an alcohol ink tumbler, so I'm going back to my original plan and start adding colors to the epoxy. I start adding pastel purple and light purple colors. Then I follow with emerald green, sky blue, and coral pink. These are colors that are very hard to find in nature, and I really do not know yet how they will look together next to each other on the same tumbler surface. Will it be too much or just enough? I don't want to end up with a tumbler of lollipop colors. The moment of truth comes when I start adding white ink which will bring the other colors I just added to life. Now I will start to see how the colors work together. I let the tumbler spin a few times to see how much of the black surface is still getting exposed and how far the colors will go. The temperature of the epoxy is very important because it is affecting how fluid epoxy is. And that is of course affecting how is the color mixing into the epoxy surface. More on this topic a little bit later. Now, if I was doing the same tumbler again, perhaps this is where I would stop now. But I have decided that I want to push my luck a bit further, and now I'm trying to color the black spaces between the colors. I want to minimize the black surface exposure. I am adding more green followed by more white. Now as I added more white into the color spots, additional alcohol ink caused the color spots to stretch even further, and the white color kind of washed out the colored pigment. So now I'm going back to my color inks and adding more pigments into the existing color spots to bring back the vibrant, bright color there was before I applied the white ink. I repeat the same process a few times and the result looks great, I think. But then I get this idea of experimenting. What would happen if I help the alcohol ink with the heat gun a bit? Will it create more evolving patterns? So here I go and blast epoxy with hot air. And I have just realized one thing. If I had to compare epoxy to anything, it would be probably honey. When you have honey at room temperature, it can be easily put on bread without running too much, because it will be still a bit thick. But when you have honey and warm it up in a microwave, the honey is turning into almost liquid. It is very runny, almost like water. Here I am experiencing something similar. The epoxy on a tumbler got warm, runny, and started to blend all colors together. You can clearly see it in the lower half of the tumbler. The glitter, which is in an epoxy, seems like it's even accelerating the mixing of colors. I just learned a valuable lesson. Do not use a heat gun after you applied alcohol ink. I am very well aware you can use a heat gun to burst bubbles from the epoxy surface, and I have seen videos where people manage successfully use the heat gun while not destroying their tumbler. However, I got too close to the epoxy surface and heat it up too much. I can see how I'm really running into the risk of losing this today's work. To further confirm my theory with honey, I see epoxy starts dripping from the bottom of the tumbler. Here is the detail of it. Well, nothing is over yet until it's over, as they say, and I'm not planning to give up so easily. I let the tumbler spin for a moment and give it some time to cool off. I have decided to continue with additional color. I'm hoping to make white spots with white ink, on which later I will drop colored ink. As you can see, at this stage I'm far gone from where I was before I used the heat gun. The white color is causing the colored ink to look like it's washed out. I'm missing the vibrance of the purples I had there before. I think the vibrant colors are gone forever, and the only way for me to save this tumbler would be to dark down or tone down the washed out spots. So I'm proceeding to apply a bit more of blue color. If I cannot make it vibrant, at least I will make it darker. I can hardly imagine I can make the situation worse than it already is. At this point, I think I lost my mind because I decided to start working on the upper portion of the tumbler, starting with white and then adding color pigment to it, again. I am very well aware at this point that this tumbler may or may not be presentable to the public, so I just go wild with experimenting, thinking to myself, at least I will see what this will do, so I won't be tempted to do the same thing next time again. I let the tumbler alone after almost 50 minutes of constant abuse and decided to check it out in about 20 hours. Of course, I was peeking at it every 10 minutes or so just to see if the epoxy was dripping again, but thankfully it was not. And here is how the dark galaxy tumbler looks like when it's finished. As we can see, the bottom half of the tumbler is lacking the vibrant patterns the upper half has. The main color theme is purple with very interesting green details in the upper half of the tumbler. Here is the spot where epoxy was dripping. This spot was never leveled out and can be seen even after the epoxy dried out. Not too terrible, but a small reminder of an accident we had during our crafting. I really believe the glitter I used at the beginning in this case saved this tumbler and is adding an interesting element to it. Initially, I thought this tumbler is gone, but look at its recovery. We are very far from perfect, but honestly, I would not have a problem keeping this tumbler for myself and start using it. And the story behind it makes it that much more interesting. As always, we have learned something new today. I got my lesson, and next time I will try to stay away from the heat gun. Do you guys have a similar experience? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you in my next video.